Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys today, and it's something that I have been sitting on for a while, and I figured now's a good time to bring it up. Today's blend is a Tilula blend it's a black tea from Tilula. It's called the Violet Hour, and this thing is smelling really, really sweet. It's got black tea, apple pieces, sliced almonds, flavoring, mallow blossoms, and freeze-dried yogurt granules. And that just guarantees that it's going to be nice and creamy and sweet, and everything that I look for in a tea for a night like tonight. It's a little bit chilly out, but I'm in the mood for something sweet. So this thing, just by the smell alone, I can tell it's going to be a really, really nice blend. So let's start by looking at the tea itself. You can tell right off the bat, it's a very small black leaf. It's a little bit rolled, but not like in a ball. It's twisted. It's a little bit hard to see. Let me see if I can pull it. Oh no, that's a little bit too small. Maybe, yeah, I guess this is good enough. So let's take a look. Hey, Snail, welcome. So we see it's a nice little stick type of cut. Very, very small, twisted. And it's got little pieces of almond, like right here. And the one thing I love about these teas is that you can eat them, and they're that good. I can. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's not tea. That's an apple piece. I mean, that's not almond. That's an apple piece. Oh, that's nice. This is the almond. Here we go. It's got a nice little piece right here. Another one you can just chew on. It's really, really. That is fresh. And I love the way that they're combining in my mouth already. Hey Ma, welcome. Like the taste of these two alone is nice and like it's sweet and nutty, of course. So you're getting those two combined already. Now let's go ahead and look at our tea. It's a nice reddish, clear liquid. You can practically see right through it, not so much through the camera, but I can see through it better. I guess because the reflection isn't showing up all that well on the camera because of my TV light. I'm still getting a nice, sweet, fruity taste on my tongue from that one piece of apple that just kind of sits there. All right, so let's go ahead and take our first slurp. Ooh, that's nice. I can tell that that's very interesting, because the Violet Hour is a little bit apropos. It kind of tastes purple, to me at least, kind of like a tart grape kind of flavoring. You can get the creaminess from the yogurt and the nut. The apple, it's there. It's very slight. I'm assuming that it's gonna be more prevalent once it cools down. But in the meantime, I'm getting a lot of the black tea flavoring, the nut. What's this tea? This is the Violet Hour from Tilula. Ooh, that's really nice. I'm getting the black tea is pretty prevalent in that. But besides that, I'm getting the creaminess of the yogurt behind it. Not so much the apple. I'm getting the mallow too. The mallow is really nice. It's giving it a boost of sweetness. Mm. And there's a certain kind of tartness to it that I'm attributing more to. I mean, maybe it's the apple, but I'm attributing it kind of to the mallow. It's not like a very harsh tartness. It's fruity. It's got that like citric acid taste, but I'm not getting that full on apple taste. I'm getting more of the tea, which is great because like you don't want that to be overpowering. You still want your tea to taste like tea. Otherwise, you just get a tisane. You get like just an apple flavored blend. But this is nice and mellow and earthy. Now I did write this time and follow the directions. Normally I would go 212, but this time around they recommended 208. I steeped it at 195 because that's where my kettle sets to, close enough without going over. And I set it. I steeped it for about 3 minutes, and I'm really glad that I followed that instruction because this kind of tea, I could tell, had I overdone it, it would have definitely gotten bitter and tasted soapy, and it would have just been, it would have given me the ick, and then I'd have nobody else to blame but myself. So in that case, I'm glad I took a look beforehand because even though this tea is a really black tea, I took their word for it. And I guess because of the shape of it and the way that it's twisted, well, more like it's rolled, but just because of that, I made sure to steep it using their advice. Oh, that's nice. It's a little bit on the gosh, how do I explain that? I'm getting kind of like a muddy, earth tone to it. Hold on. My nose is getting a little bit stuffed. I hate when that happens during my show. I guess the spring isn't coming soon enough because everything is draining again. And I like that there's like no astringency whatsoever. Usually in a black tea you would have that a little bit of a bite to it. This has very, very little, if any at all. I can't really pick any astringency up. It's probably being covered by the apple. Whatever little there is, there's that little tartness that is kind of replacing it. Now that it's cooling down a little bit, I'm getting more apple, more of the yogurt. Ooh. And it's adding a little bit of a texture to it. There's a slight heaviness on the tongue. There we go. Now the apple is starting to show a little bit more. Sorry, my dog is sitting right here next to me. She's so curious sometimes. Yeah, now the apple, as it cools off, the apple is getting stronger along with the yogurt. And it's really sitting on my palate kind of heavy. And if I rub my tongue to the roof of my mouth, I'm tasting that cream even more. It's the kind of flavoring that I'm digging a little bit to find, but it's starting to become more and more prevalent. I'm assuming that as it progresses and gets cooler, the apple and the sweeter tones are going to come out more. And I'm hoping for a little bit of floral too. Like the floral tones are there, but they're very, very faint. Yeah, that's from the mallow blossoms, gotta be. And I'm still like not tasting the almonds very heavily. I guess, like sometimes if like I've had other teas that were specifically mixed as nuts, you get that oatmeal kind of taste to it. I'm not really getting that very hard on this tea. It's very, very slight, and I think that's adding more to the texture than the flavor. It's like, good, that's what your body and mind require every once in a while. I'm assuming you're talking about rest. But my body requires tea more than once in a while anyway. Would you like this tea? I think you would, but I think you would put some cream in it just to enhance the texture a little bit. I think that you would like this with cream and sugar, because the sugar would probably bring out the yogurt flavoring to it a little bit more. And I mean, I think that this would really be good iced as well. Because of that, you would have those fruity, yogurt creamy undertones to it that would go very, very well, especially if you add to the creaminess of it with some milk. And I love the overall sensation of it. Like, it's not too harsh, it's not too soft. It's right there in the middle, walking that fine line between heavy and light. It's got a nice breathiness to it. Like, as I breathe in and out, I'm tasting the yogurt, I'm tasting the apple, I'm tasting the mallow. And it's very, like, the heavy tones stay on my tongue. The lighter tones come out of my breath, which is a very interesting sensation because you have two hemispheres going on, basically, on your tongue. And I never really noticed that with other teas, Like, I have had sweetened teas. You don't know how you feel about the yogurt. I mean, it's not heavy. Like, when you put yogurt in your food, and you have that overall creaminess of it, it's not that heavy. It's more of if it's in place of sugar, kind of a sweetener to it. It's not prevalent at all. Like, it doesn't have that yogurty taste, it just has that creamy sweetness. I have not been able to... Let me see if I can find a yogurt granule on here. I think I got one. It's stuck between my fingers. No, I missed it. I saw one. Yeah, there we go. I think I got it this time. Yep, I got it. Okay, I don't know how well it's going to show. I don't know, can you see that? That little tiny spot right there. That's one of the yogurt granules. And it's very, very light. Like, it's just going to be there. Oh, I dropped it. It's just going to be there for sweetness effect. I'm not really getting any any of that yogurty flavor to it. Like sometimes it can be a little pungent from it. This is nice. Yeah, like the more I drink, the more purple it tastes. Like the more violet it tastes. Maybe it's just, like suggestion of the name, but it tastes just like it. It tastes like it's purple. It tastes like it's evening time, it's the grape. It's like the rock fruit flavoring of it. It's that nice, well-rounded, how do I put this? It's that nice, well-rounded, it's like a taste from the depth. Excuse me. Ooh, I'm trying to swallow it off. There we go. Hiccups are gone. Well, it is nice. It's a very breathy blend too. Because as I speak, I'm tasting it over and over again, and I'm getting it swirls around in my tongue, and it's keeping me nice and warm. I'm thoroughly impressed by this tea. Like, it could go wrong in so many ways if the people who blended it didn't know what they were doing. Because I've tasted where some of the ingredients can be off balance, and if you didn't put enough apple and it was overpowered by the black tea, you wouldn't taste anything. That's how a lot of the flavored black teas taste to me sometimes. Where they try to make it like, let's say creamy black. I've had a creamy black tea, and it just tasted like black tea and a little bit of flavor. And it's like, where is the cream? It smelled nice, but I just could not for the life of me taste it. And when you try to pull out that taste, you wind up over steeping, and it's just, it comes out yucky. This one, the flavors are prevalent. They're kind of muted, and they're supported by, they support the black tea. In other words, it's there, it's noticeable, but it's not overpowering at all. And that's very hard to do sometimes, especially when you're using semi-muted flavors like apple. Apple tends to be not as bright, not as prevalent. Like, let's say an orange or a lemon, something like that, has a stronger taste than apple. So it's really hard to use apple in a black tea sometimes. But this black tea, being what it is, it's on the lighter side. Like, this is not an Assam at all. I'm getting more black tea vibes from it than having that, like, bitter smokiness, that heavy, that heavy, throaty, black tea flavor. That's not on here. So they definitely used a more delicate tea, and that's why I had to steep it at a lighter temperature for a shorter time, because otherwise that would have just overpowered and killed the taste buds for me. I'm going to go ahead and do the Thomas taste now and see if I can find anything different in this one. I'm sure I can. Let's see. Okay. That way, ooh, I'm getting a lot more apple. I'm getting a lot more of that rock fruit citrusy flavoring to it. Oh yeah, that's really nice. It just got so much sweeter. Probably because I held it on my tongue longer and it's at a nice cool temperature. So I'm definitely enjoying that. Okay, it's nice. I'm tasting it in my throat. Like the apple is kind of like halfway between my throat and my tongue. And it's just kind of coated in the back there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. Questions, comments. If you have anything you want to talk about, now is the time. I'm going to open the questions with the same question I do every time. What would I pair this tea with? It is a little bit on the sweet side. I don't think it's enough to warrant a dessert only, but it is enough. How would I rate this tea? For me personally, I really like it. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think that the one thing that it's missing is a creamier presence. Had they used more yogurt, that would have elevated that creaminess to it. But otherwise, I can't think of anything that would make this tea better. I love that it's nice and mellow. I'm not getting any bitterness. I'm not getting any of that harsh biting flavor in the back of my tongue. Usually, at this point of the strain, it's cooled down enough so that it starts to get bitter. I'm not getting any of that. Right now, it's very, very appley, and I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that would definitely be my recommendation. As I always do, I will post a link in the description of this in case you want to try it for yourself. And I do highly recommend this tea if you like black teas with flavoring. What was I saying? What would I pair it with? You know what? Let's start with a dessert. Because it's not too heavy, I would pair it with something a little bit on the sweeter side just to bring it out a little bit. Something creamy, maybe what's the word? That pastry. Gosh, what is that? What is that? Not a calzone. It's the doggone it. It's the pastry with the cream in it. I'm drawing a blank. Huh? No, not a jelly-filled donut. It's cream. It's the Italian pastry with. Oh, I keep saying it's not a calzone. Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I'm forgetting the name, but yeah, if anybody out there can spark my old man brain, then help me out here. Or maybe an eclair. A cannoli, that's the word. Cannoli, not calzone. I knew it started with a C. One of those things. Yeah. I think it would go nice with that. Mainly because the cream would add to the yogurty sweetness, and bring out the apple a little bit more. So I would recommend that. If I were to recommend what is it called? An entree. I think like a nice roasted chicken or a roast pork. Maybe for ma, it's a pernil. let's have some pernil with this. I think that would go pretty well together. Something that's like a little bit roasty, but not overly done, not smoky, not too heavy. I wouldn't go into the steak territory with that. I think that this would stay more like maybe about a baked ham, something like that, something around those lines. Ooh. Oh man, I'm starting to get stuffed here. This is the same. This is what I love about this kind of tea, that it just kind of sits in your stomach and settles, and it just keeps you warm. You know, it keeps you. What about the lobster claw from the Cake Boss? I don't know. I never had a lobster cake before. I don't know.
It's not really a lobster claw. It's not a lobster.
It's not. It's an actual lobster claw.
No, it's just shaped like one.
Oh, just shaped like one. I guess. I don't know. I've never had one. So. Oh, okay. Ooh, then absolutely, yeah. Ooh. Everything is still draining. This is, I mean, like, I've been doing this stream for 7 or 8 years, and tea just has this effect on me. I think it's only when I speak and I drink that everything starts to drain, which I guess, I don't know if it's genetic or not. Full of cream, it's delicious. Oh yeah, then absolutely, I would say go for it. Oof. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor again. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. I have 2 announcements. One, the Tea Festival is coming in 2 weeks. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I highly recommend that you do. This is going to be such a fun event. We have 25 vendors coming in and out, and they are changing a little bit from one day to the next. So if you did get a weekend pass, you'll have access to both sets of vendors. I will be there both days, finally debuting my own blends or my own teas, my own brand of teas. And it's something that I never thought I would be doing. But it's going to be such an immaculate opportunity. I am so thrilled. So if you guys are in the Chicago area, please get your ticket and come in and enjoy tea with us, because it is going to be such an adventure. And second announcement is something that I think is going to be amazing. My class has sold out, so tickets are no longer available. If you're watching today, thank you so much for buying one of my tickets. This has been an extraordinary experience, and I can't wait to get down to it, because I've never had a full class to myself before. So this is going to be excellent. It's wonderful, and I'm super excited. I do have one more announcement coming next week. So I highly recommend that you do make it, because it's going to be a huge announcement, and it's one that I have been mulling over for quite some time, whether or not to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it next week, and I guess that's it. So thank you all for joining me. This has been an extremely wonderful taste. I will be posting the link in the description again. If you want to check it out for yourself, go ahead. I highly recommend it. And until next time, have a great night and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.